I don't even know what to say about this one. This loss, this one hurts. Let's be honest. This loss to Mississippi State, it stings. The next day, it's still hanging with me. It still hurts. It still stings because of what could have been. This time last week, I was sitting here saying that, we still had a lot to play for. We still have possibility at going to the SEC championship, all this good stuff. And now we lost to Mississippi State. And me, like a lot of other fans, it's like, well, what now? Is the season over? Is there anything left to play for this season? And it took me a while to process all this. I did not want to do an immediate reaction yesterday because I was not very happy with how the game ended up. But now I've had a little bit of time to think about it. And so this is where I landed. No, I'm not happy with the game yesterday. We first half was great. It wasn't perfect, but man, we looked good. Put up 28 points. We were up 28-3, which is just a cursed score. If your team is almost about to be up 28-3, I would say miss the extra point because that score is just cursed. Nobody wants to be up 28-3. It never ends up very good for the team. Anyway, I was happy with the first half yesterday, and then the second half, after we were up 28-3, Mississippi State scored an unanswered 40 points on us. Like, how does that even happen? How do you let a team score 40 points on you and you can't even kick a field goal somewhere in there? 40 points. So no, I wasn't happy with that game. And really where I landed is, where does the fault lie? Who's to blame for this loss? Your offense scored enough points. 30, 34, 35 points. I think it was 34 in the end. But the offense put up enough points. The defense played well the first half, and then the wheels just fell completely off, and it was just a complete mess after that. It was a horrible, horrible mess during that second half. During that third quarter, I knew we were in trouble, and once we got to, I can't remember the play exactly, but there was one play that when it happened, I knew we were done for. When we got to the fake punt, I knew it was over. As soon as we got to the fake punt, and I knew that our coaches had so little faith in our defense that they thought the fake punt was the way to go so that we could get the ball back, I knew we were done for. And I'm kind of talking all over the place, but it's kind of where my mind's at the moment. So let's break it down. I want to talk through the game. I'm not talking through every play, but I just want to talk about what happened, where do we go from here, and what does the future of Auburn football look like after just looking at this Mississippi State game. So what you witnessed yesterday was a complete and utter, just a full collapse of a football team. You saw a team look dominant in the first half for most of the half. Absolutely dominant. And then I think they got comfortable. You're up 28-3, and instead of keeping with what you were doing and hitting the accelerator more, you kind of back off and play it safe, and it never works out for a team. It just almost never works out. And that's part of what I think happened. So one, I think we let off the gas a little bit because we were comfortable with the lead we had. Another thing that I think happened is that we went into halftime and we didn't make any adjustments. I know this sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but we went into halftime. We did not make any adjustments. Mike Leach and his coaching staff made a lot of adjustments to what we were doing and came out and just completely owned us. They had our number. They knew what we were going to do, and they owned us from the time they came out during the second half until the last second ticked off of that clock in the fourth quarter. And what is still baffling to me is I don't understand what our coaches were doing. I'm not going to pretend like I know better, but at the same time, there's some decisions that were made by our coaching staff during that second half that I can't comprehend. I don't understand what's going on. So I'll just kind of focus on 3 decisions, because otherwise I could just keep talking forever. Those 3 decisions, so I mentioned one of them. One, that fake punt. Why at that time did we do a fake punt other than the fact that they had no faith in our defense? I don't understand that decision. I don't think it was the right call. It didn't turn out well, obviously. But at that point in the game, I don't understand the point in doing the fake punt. The other decision that I do not understand is that once we did score a touchdown, why did we go for 2 right then? We didn't have to go for 2 at that moment. And I understand that you would eventually have to go for 2, but why right then? Because as soon as we went for 2 and we didn't get it, the hope was gone. That just killed the hope of the football team. It killed the hope of the fans, killed the hope of the team, probably killed the hope of the coaches. So why would you go for 2 at that point and not just take the 1 and keep the hope alive a little longer? I do not understand that decision, and I'd love for somebody to explain it to me, because it does not make sense to me. I don't get it. And the other decision, and this is not necessarily one play, but the other decision that I do not understand from a coaching standpoint is the number of times we tried to run the ball when it was not working. How many times did you see the play call for Tank running the ball up the middle? How many times was that exact play called and it did not work over and over and over again? How many times does a play have to go poorly before you realize that's probably not the best call for my team right now? And yet they kept calling it. I don't know if that was Bobo or Harsin or who, but I don't understand the thought process behind that play call. I don't get it. And so I do think we had a failure in coaching during this game. If you want to pinpoint one thing, there's a lot that went wrong, but if you want to pinpoint one thing, the coaching was a problem. Does this mean I've lost faith in the coaching staff overall? No, I have not lost faith in the coaching staff. But as for who do we place the blame on? I really don't know. Is this Harsin? Is it Bobo? Is it Mason? A lot of people are mad at Mason, and I understand that. You're upset because the team gave up 40 points, in a row. That's awful. I completely get it. The thing that frustrates me about that, though, is that we knew going into this game, we knew that the air raid, the way it's designed, is it is not designed to be successful at first. The whole thing behind the air raid is it wears down your defense over time. Wears down your defense over time. And what did we see happen? Over time, our defense got worn out. Those defensive backs were running all over the place. They were running, and they made a lot of good stops. But when your quarterback, Will Rogers, when he is that accurate and he is that, just pinpoint accuracy, when he can throw the ball that well, it's hard to make a play on it every single time, because he put the ball where it had to be almost every single time, exactly where it needed to be. And our guys just got tired. They got worn out. And so then as the game went on, and Mississippi State controlled the ball for more time, we didn't stand a chance. And I don't understand why we couldn't make adjustments. So yeah, you can be mad at Mason. You can be mad at the fact that our defense gave up so many points. But what about the fact that our offense couldn't respond? What about the fact that during those 40 points that were scored by Mississippi State, we didn't score anything? You want to blame that on Derek Mason? Seems a little ridiculous to me. You want to blame it on Bobo and Harson? Probably fair. You want to blame it on Nix? I don't know. He looked pretty great during the first half. He really did. During the second half, that's when we started seeing him getting more flustered and frustrated. And we know a frustrated Bo Nix is not good for anybody. It's not good for Auburn. Do I want to place this whole loss on Bo Nix? No, I don't. So don't hear me say that. It's nothing like that. But this was just all around. It was just a failure. This was a catastrophic failure. For us to be up by that many points and then lose it was awful. I think I saw that this was Mississippi State's biggest comeback in history, possibly, because they came back from 25 points down, and the previous record for them was to come back from 20 points down. So we helped them set a new record. So congratulations. This one stinks. So going past this game, what does that mean for the rest of our season? Well, one, we've got 2 games left. We've got South Carolina at South Carolina, and we've got Bama at home in Jordan-Hare. So we've got 2 games. What are we going to do with those 2 games? Well, for the South Carolina game, obviously we want to win them both, so I'm not going to, say anything beyond that. Yeah, we'd like to win both of them and have an 8-win season. Is an 8-win season great? No, heck no, it's not. But it's better than a 6-win season. So, more than anything, I want us to win at least one of these games. South Carolina is the most winnable of the 2. So please, coaching staff, please team, do what we can to win this one game. I know that's the goal every week, but guys, it's been rough. It's been rough. We've had some high highs this season and some low lows, and I think this loss against Mississippi State was the lowest of the season because it stings so much, because we were up by so much. So we've got to win this game against South Carolina. There's no excuse. I don't want to hear any excuses on this one. Win it. Find a way to win it. Fix the mistakes. Make whatever corrections you've got to make. Fix it. And win the game. That's all there is to it. Because out of these next 2, South Carolina is the most winnable. So win it. Got to have at least a 7-win season. Then, the bad thing is, yes, we are out of it is not possible for us to play in the SEC championship. That is out of the question. And it is not possible for us to play in the college football playoffs. So those things are off the table. Gone. Done. So what is still on the table? Well, it's still possible for us to have a better season than we had last year. And that would be by winning another game. A 7-win season would be better than a 6-win season. I know people are going to say, well, last season we played on the SEC team, so it's not the same. I don't care about that right now. Let's just get 7 wins, which is better than 6 wins. And then the other thing we can do is we can win the Iron Bowl. That is always a positive. It's always a good thing. And it might help ruin Alabama's season, which is always fun. I enjoy it. As for the rest of this season and what we need to do, the question is, what is the future for Auburn at quarterback? Is Bo Nix the future at Auburn? Are we going to be looking at Bo Nix next season? I'm not saying Bo Nix is a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he has some bad habits, and I think he makes mistakes. And I think he makes some great plays, and he can make some good decisions. But I do not think he's the future of our team anymore. I don't at all. Nope. He's not it. So, if he is not our future, who is? Well, for me, I'm hoping and I think it's going to be Demetrius Davis. And so if he is the future of Auburn as quarterback, I personally think we need to give him some playing time. At this point, we can't burn his red shirt. He can play, and he will keep his red shirt. So I would like for him to get some decent playing time. I'm not saying he should start, but he needs to get a lot of playing time these next 2 games. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the coaches will do it. I think they're going to keep playing Bo Nix, assuming he's healthy and not hurt. I think they will keep playing Bo Nix, and we'll just ride out the rest of this season and see what happens. But I think it's kind of foolish, because if Bo Nix is not the future of Auburn football, let's play somebody else. Let's get Demetrius Davis in there if he's the future, which I think he is. Let's give him some playing time. Let's give him some reps. Let's get him some experience against 2 SEC teams, because ultimately that's what's going to benefit Auburn in the long run. Let's get these players some experience. Let's build the future of the program so that when we get to next football season, we're ready. I don't want us to have to build up another quarterback and get another quarterback ready who has no experience. Give them some playing time now. There's no reason we can't do that. I just don't think it's going to happen. Well, I don't think the season's over. As far as, I don't think there's no reason to watch the team anymore. I'm going to watch these last 2 or 3 games, the last 2 regular season games in the postseason game. Obviously, I'm going to watch them. I love Auburn. I love watching Auburn football. I get frustrated by it like anybody else. But our season is not over. There are some hopes we had for this season that are over, that I mentioned. But our team is not lost, and so I will continue to support them. And if you're an Auburn fan, you will too. And part of it is we're going to get frustrated. We're going to get disappointed. That's just part of it. And that's okay. So my hope for the rest of the season is that, one, we're going to get to see some playtime from Demetrius Davis, because, like I said, I think he's the future of Auburn football. And I hope that we will win at least 1, if not 2, of these last 2 games of the regular season. If I had to pick one, honestly, I want to beat Alabama, because, who doesn't want to beat them every single year? And if we can't win and we can't, get an SEC championship, I don't want them to either. That's just the kind of Auburn fan I am, and I'm going to own it. That's all I've got for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you everybody for helping me get to 1,000 subs on this channel. I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun, and no matter what, it doesn't matter what kind of season we have, I will stay an Auburn fan, and I hope you will too. Thank you for liking this video and watching it, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. That's all I've got until the South Carolina game. War Eagle.